Okay, everybody, I think I procrastinated this video long enough. So, yeah, I've got to do my top 10 matches for the month of July 2016. But before I get into that, I just wanted to pitch an idea to you guys and see if it's something worth doing. I watched both Raw and SmackDown again this week. And in the complete inverse of the previous week, I thought SmackDown was the far better show. I thought Raw was kind of dead, floundering, kind of dull, except for the ending. I just didn't think Raw had a whole lot of life to it, which is a stark contrast to what it was like the week before. And this week's SmackDown, while not a stellar show by any means, had a little bit more life to it, with some better promos and a pretty good main event between Dolph Ziggler and Bray Wyatt. So, yeah, I'd have to give the point to SmackDown this week as far as being the better show. And I was wondering if maybe I could start doing like a Raw versus SmackDown counter and have it build towards WrestleMania or something to determine which has been the better brand from the start all the way until WrestleMania. So if that's something y'all would be interested in seeing, please let me know. I haven't decided how it would look or how I would format it or even how I would approach it yet, but it's just something that I'm kicking around in my head. So if that's something you all would be interested in seeing, just comment down below or send me a tweet. The link to my Twitter is also in the description box, so have fun with that. Yeah, with that all said, let's get into my top 10 favorite matches for the month of July 2016. Like I said, I'm a little late with this, but, you know, stuff got in the way. So, yeah, 10 matches for the month of July. This was also another very hard list to make. For those of you who saw my list in June, you saw that I had to up the list to 30 because there were so many matches that I liked that I decided to talk about them all. And it looked like that was going to be a similar problem here, what with all the tournaments that have been going on this month, with the G1 Climax, the Super J Cup, the WWE's Cruiserweight Classic. TNA even had their own tournament with the Bound for Glory playoffs. So a lot of tournaments means a lot of matches, and a lot of opportunities to put on impressive wrestling matches. And there were a couple really good pay-per-views as well. So there was a lot of really good stuff, but I felt like I had an easier time narrowing down the list to 10 this month than I did the previous month. So I did get it down to 10. There was quite a few matches I really enjoyed, but with all of that said, let's start with the list. At number 10, I've got John Cena, Enzo Amore, and Big Cass versus The Club from WWE Battleground 2016. Even though AJ Styles had to eat the pin to John Cena because reasons, and everything has to balance out 50-50, although we'll see at SummerSlam. I'm hoping, please dear God, let AJ go over at SummerSlam. But in any case, this match makes the list mainly because it was the first time I got to see AJ Styles in person. I was actually at this show, and that live experience definitely added a lot of significance to this match for me personally. AJ's been one of my favorite wrestlers since 2004, 2003, somewhere in that range. And to finally get to see him live in person and, you know, see AJ do his thing, even if it was just a six-man tag match thrown onto a pay-per-view, and even if it was, you know, him losing to John Cena, I still got a lot of enjoyment out of seeing AJ in person. It wasn't just AJ either. I thought Enzo and Cass looked like megastars here, especially with their entrance and their whole song and dance routine at the start, before the match even began. I thought Enzo and Cass looked like $1 million here. And it made for a very entertaining, wild, action-packed match that was a lot of fun to watch. And, you know, again, milestone for me. I got to see one of my favorite wrestlers in person. So, just all good things about this match. Again, except for Cena getting the pin on AJ. because again, reasons. Anyway, number 9 happened the next night on Raw. Charlotte versus Sasha Banks for the WWE Women's Championship. Sasha Banks ultimately won the title in a match that was very good and really kind of a nice kickstart to the quote-unquote new era for the WWE and Monday Night Raw, and kind of, you know, just really kind of started things off with a bang. I know it wasn't the first match that was featured on the first Raw, but it was the first, like, really good, big spotlight match that was done in this new era of Raw, and I thought it worked out very well. I had a satisfying title change. Sasha's the champ now, which is great, although I wish they'd tweak her character a little bit, because she's kind of being pigeonholed into that joke-telling babyface role that I don't want her to be in. To me, the appeal of Sasha Banks in NXT was that she was nasty and kind of a jerk, honestly. And that's the Sasha that I like, and we're not really seeing that, not as much on the main roster. I wish that they would do that, but WWE, I mean, they're horrible at writing their baby faces. It's astounding. I mean, Roman Reigns, we can all shit on Roman Reigns, and Lord knows I have. He's really the recipient of the same shitty writing that most of the baby faces get, so it's almost unavoidable. But in any case, I thought the women's title match was very, very good. It was a great first huge spotlight match for the new era of Raw. Number 8 from New Japan's G1 Climax, Michael Elgin versus Kenny Omega. This match, it's almost like they picked up right where they left off in that great ladder match that they had that I talked about back in June. Just another very, very good match between two guys that apparently have very good chemistry together. I mean, they just typically have very good matches with each other. And it makes you wonder if Kenny Omega and Michael Elgin are going to start getting phone calls from the WWE or something like that, because the matches that they have together are very, very good. And I would say that this was the second best match I've seen so far out of the tournament. The best match is coming later in this list. But again, it's two guys that I enjoy watching that just have great chemistry with each other, and they just continue doing what they do best right along into the G1 Climax. Number 7, King Cuerno versus Mil Muertes in a death match from Ultima Lucha. Ultima Lucha Dos Night 2. Lucha Underground's big season finale, a big series of season finale shows. Ultima Lucha Dos was spread out over 3 shows. And I thought the death match was a lot of fun. It wasn't super violent as like the Pentagon Vampiro match or some of the Phoenix Muertes matches or the Sexy Star Mariposa match from earlier this year. But it was just this nice, hard-hitting brawl that was just cool. It was just a really, really cool match between two characters and two talents that I really like. It was a nice culmination to the feud that they've been having throughout the course of the season. The finish was particularly cool, where Muertes speared Cuerno through one table, then powerbombed him through 2 more, then hit him with a crowbar, and then tombstoned him for the win. It just kind of... I said it in my review, it was kind of like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer, dressed up as Krusty, was beating up the Hamburglar equivalent to Krusty Burger, and as he was doing so, one of the kids in the crowd was like, "Stop! Stop! He's already dead!" And I kind of got that impression while watching the finish to this match. But it was very cool and hard-hitting and violent and everything. So it was just a really enjoyable match. And a major highlight from Ultima Lucha this year. Another match from Ultima Lucha, this one from Night 1, part of the 4-man tournament that they held for a Dario Cueto special opportunity. Cage versus the Mack in a Falls Count Anywhere match, picking up right where they left off from the previous Ultima Lucha. The Falls Count Anywhere match they had last year got a lot of buzz and was really well received, so it seemed natural that they would do a rematch here under different circumstances, with the winner getting a special prize, or getting an opportunity for a special prize. And I think the match they had here was even better. I thought it was the first match for Ultima Lucha, so the crowd was red hot. And Mack and Cage just went out there and just tore it down. I just thought they had a very exciting match, very cool. Both talents are so unique. I mean, Brian Cage is such a... I mean, the description of him being Lucha Lesnar, I think, is very accurate. He's this big powerhouse that can do these amazing things. And the Mack is a big fat guy that does all these athletic moves, and it's like, how the fuck does that... How's that even physically possible? And he's just so lovable and likable. So, the match just came off really, really well as a result. And, very, very well done, good kickoff to Ultima Lucha, I thought. Number 5, from TNA, Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy versus Broken Matt Hardy in the final deletion. Definitely TNA's most talked about match in quite some time. In a day and age where TNA is pretty much irrelevant in the wrestling scene. They don't tour, not really. They have a television product that people don't really care about. The Hogan era kind of left them in the dust and kind of left them just struggling to find some kind of a direction. Most of their key guys have left. Sting's gone, AJ's gone, Angle's gone. A lot of them have gone to WWE. Bobby Roode just debuted with NXT. They just don't have a lot of buzz going for them. So for them to create this wild and crazy match, which had opinions all across the board, people either loved it or they fucking hated it. Some people didn't know what to make of it. The opinions on this match were all across the board, from the way it was shot to the way it was handled to the bizarre nature of Matt Hardy's character, which I've made perfectly clear that I find entertaining as fuck because of just how ridiculous it is with the accent and Senor Benjamin and the dilapidated boat and Skarsgård. No, Skarsgård's the name of the boat. Vanguard 1 is the name of his special aerial assault robot. It's just so ridiculous, but it's kind of, you know, it's kind of strange in how entertaining it is. And, you know, for so long, TNA's been so dead and so lifeless that for them to do anything that generates any kind of attention it has got to be viewed as a feather in their cap. It's like, at least they did something, you know, that didn't feel like watching a funeral. This is actually something I'm going to remember by the end of the year when it comes time to talk about, like, the best and worst of 2016, and it's something that I'm going to remember years from now as one of the major highlights of in TNA's history. It's one of, at least as far as like sparking debates and talking about the quality of the art form and all that other stuff. It's something that they created, something that was truly memorable, and for that alone, I'm willing to give it a fairly high spot on this list at number 5. And again, some people hated it, and that's fine. I totally understand why. It's just, I was just impressed that they created something that generated any kind of buzz, because TNA hasn't been able to do that in a long, long time. So yeah, I did enjoy it for what it was. It's not the type of thing I would like to see done all the time. They've recently started airing these segments with Bram and Rosemary that are kind of cut from the same cloth, and they don't... It's like, I don't want TNA to kind of turn into that show, kind of like a second-rate Lucha Underground, but... for this one time, and maybe if Matt and Jeff have kind of a rematch at Bound for Glory done in the same fashion, I'll be down with it. It's like, okay, that's fine, but for, you know, sparingly done, you know, less is more. I think it worked quite well for them. So, yeah, I did enjoy this match. Number 4, Dean Ambrose defending the WWE Championship against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match at Battleground 2016. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. This was the main event of the show. It's the big, historic Shield triple threat that we all wanted. That was, you know, some people speculated would be saved for WrestleMania, or some have even speculated that it was the original plan for WrestleMania 31 or 32. 32, especially, I think. It might have been on the cards. You know, if Seth hadn't gotten hurt, it makes you wonder what if we would have gotten this as the main event at WrestleMania. I would have liked it a lot more as the main event of WrestleMania than Triple H and Roman Reigns, but that's the hand we were dealt. But anyways, I thought this match was a very good main event. You know, action-packed, and being there in the crowd, you know, we kind of had an anybody but Roman attitude. You know, Roman was just coming back from his suspension, and if he had won the belt here, I mean, that would have been atrocious. I mean, it would have been just terrible if they'd done that. Thank God they actually went with the, I think, somewhat brave decision to give it to Ambrose, because Ambrose, of the 3 Shield members, he's been kind of the guy on the outside looking in, even though the fans love him more than Roman. Again, I don't understand it, but okay. It's like the guy that the fans clearly love more doesn't get pushed. I don't understand. I don't get it. But anyway, for the longest time, Dean Ambrose was kind of on the outside looking in. Seth was being presented as the top heel and everything. He'd already been the champion, you know, through Money in the Bank. And Roman was just the guy, whether you liked it or not. So here they finally went with kind of the brave decision. It's like, all right, let's have Dean Ambrose actually win the big Shield triple threat and kind of solidify him as being up on the same class as like Roman or Seth. And of course, Roman ate the pin. It makes you wonder if he's being punished. He's been demoted to U.S. title level, which is even further like, oh my god, he's really being demoted. If Rusev beats him, that'll even be more of an indicator. It's like, oh god, have they just given up on Roman? But in any case, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was very good. And like I said, I thought it was a very kind of a gutsy call to keep it on Dean and let SmackDown kind of keep the real championship, because the Universal title, you know, is kind of, no matter how you do it, it's kind of like how Triple H was just handed the World Heavyweight title. For a while, it was kind of viewed as the the lesser of the two championships. Then it kind of switched at around 04, 05, where the World Heavyweight title was viewed as bigger than the WWE title, and then it kind of switched back, and the World title got bastardized more and more. But that's another topic for a whole nother video. But for right now, I thought in the draft I did feel like Raw got the better roster, so giving SmackDown some kind of a bone was nice to see. And like I said, this match was very good and very exciting, very creative, and had a very satisfying conclusion, so I really liked it. Number 3 from the G1 Climax, actually the first match that I saw from the G1 Climax. I believe it may have been the first match overall. I did a lot of like jumping around and watching certain matches, but I'm pretty sure this was the first match. Tenzan versus Tomohiro Ishi in their G1 Climax match. This is a pairing that I think is very interesting. Tenzan has actually been somewhat of a sleeper hit, and I don't want to say sleeper hit. He's been like the kind of the shining star of the G1 Climax so far. I think he's done really, really well. And I've enjoyed most of the matches I've seen him in so far. And this match with Ishi was just fantastic. It was, again, this kind of stuff you would expect out of an Ishi match, where it's just this hard-hitting, ball-busting, smack the shit out of each other type of affair, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. And I felt like it got the G1 Climax off to a very, very good start, and I was really impressed with it when I saw it. It was just, that typical Japanese strong style type of match that's just so much fun to watch. So, yeah, I really did enjoy this. And number 2 on my list is the best match from WWE Battleground. There's a lot of Battleground on here. The best match from WWE Battleground, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, the culmination of their big feud. In the draft, I wish they had been drafted to different shows just to kind of highlight, like, this is the last one. But, so the fact that they're on the same show just makes me think, like, yeah, we're going to see this match again at some point. Not that Owens and Zayn having matches again is a bad thing. I'm just saying if they want this to be the big feud ender, it would have meant more if one of them was going to SmackDown and one was staying on Raw. But, in any case, the live experience definitely enhanced this. I thought the match was absolutely incredible. I think it's the best match the two have had in general, not just with each other, but in general. It's the best match I've seen either man have since they've both been on the main roster. Really good. It had all the athleticism. It had the character work from both guys. It had like the big story moments that you would want, like Owens getting knocked out before Sami Zayn delivers the kill shot. And Sami just kind of looking at him, and Sami like playing up all the anger and all the frustration, finally getting through all of that to defeat Kevin Owens and get the last laugh on him. All of that very well done, and very exciting match. Loved it. It's the match we should have gotten at WrestleMania. I'll keep saying that until the cows come home. But in any case, that's number 2 on my list. Number 1 on my list goes to the best match from Ultima Lucha Dos. This was their main event. Prince Puma versus Rey Mysterio Jr. It was billed as kind of a Lucha Dream match. The past meets the present. Ricochet as Prince Puma has been the shining star of Lucha Underground. He's been kind of like their Sting. And Rey Mysterio is obviously a Lucha Libre legend, so this match was just a natural one to do. And I thought the match was absolutely incredible. I didn't know Rey Mysterio still had this type of match left in him. Since he's been in Lucha Underground, he's worked mostly tag matches. And, his knees are shot, so he can't be doing too much, but I expected this match to be very good. I figured Rey, it's like once in a while, could pull out another strong singles performance. I didn't expect it to be this good. This match blew me away by how great it was. I saw stuff in here that I'd never seen before. And for all the great action that was on display here, you even got the great story moments, like Prince Puma reminiscent of Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24, tried to have his "I'm sorry, I love you" moment where he was just gonna, say "I'm sorry, I love you" to Rey Mysterio before delivering the final blow, but that hesitation cost him in the end, and he was it ultimately set up Rey Mysterio for the big win. So you got all types of a bunch of things going on here, and it made for a very exciting match, a strong main event to Lucha Underground Season 2, and here's hoping they come back even bigger and even better for Season 3. So I'm really excited for it. So, excuse me. So that's my top 10 list for the month of July. August is already off to somewhat of a good start. Dolph Ziggler and Bray Wyatt had a really good match. I thought You know, even TNA this week, I thought, what's the match I was just thinking of? The Bound for Glory playoffs finals. I thought EC3 and Mike Bennett had a very good match. So we're already off to a very good start, and we also have SummerSlam and another NXT special to look forward to. And it looks like the NXT special is going to have some pretty cool stuff on it with Nakamura versus Joe, Bayley versus Asuka 2 has already been made. So a lot of stuff to look forward to, and I think we're in for another really good month. But that is my list for this month. I'm going to try and have another video out in the next few days. But again, my work schedule, and really it's not so much the work schedule, it's more the commute, because I'm driving 45 minutes to work in the morning and then an hour and a half back home because rush hour traffic sucks. But, you know, I will try to get a video sometime like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Again, let me know if you'd be interested in doing like a Raw versus SmackDown style counter to try and determine which is the better show. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing me do. Again, you can just reply down below in the comments. But that is all I have for you now. Thank you all for watching, and y'all have a good weekend.